Welcome to the Antlered podcast, where we discuss brews, witchcraft, spirituality, and more.
We hope through conversation we can continue the trend of the collective awakening, or maybe just be more kind and shake our butts. I just made that up on the fly. How did you guys like that?
That was a good impersonation of that woman. Who is that woman? You know, the Stifler's mum woman.
I don't know things.
I don't know. I can't remember her name. Patricia something.
Oh, okay then.
I don't know. Today we will be drinking a beer called All Day IPA. It's just Founders All Day IPA. It's
beautiful. And then we're going to learn more about what you need to know. What you need to know. Starting out in witchcraft.
Yeah. So, come on in.
Beyond the weather and the marsh, there is a whisper in the dark through the tides of disarray, where we list on the honest way. If you listen very still, there are answers to the end, where the ancient pulses deep of the memories you keep.
Welcome to the Antlered Crown podcast. I'm Elwyn, and I'm a fourth-generation hedge witch.
Oh, all right. All right.
Well, what are you?
We'll take it. We'll take it on your word.
Fourth-generation arsehole.
That's a well-used asshole.
Oh,
No.
why did you take it there?
I'm Amanda the Moderator, and shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic and I'm gonna take it away.
That was different.
Well, I gotta jazz it up a bit.
All right, then.
Talk about your beer. We've talked about this beer before. This is Elwood's favorite beer.
It's not.
Okay, so this is not Elwood's favorite beer.
It's like when you think of a favourite beer, it's a beer that you would always want regardless of what the weather's like.
Okay.
This is just all day Founders IPA session because it's the closest thing to an IPA that you'll find in England.
Oh.
It's around 4.5%, 4%, something like
Just
that.
a low alcohol by volume.
We like to drink more alcohol,
Yes.
and so therefore, yes.
More pints.
Oh, yeah, there you go. It's 4.7. And so it kind of gets you there, but slowly, and it tastes nice, and it's really refreshing, and it's not bad for a kind of mass-produced ale. So, and it's cheap, too. So,
Well, I've got a bubbly bounce. It's caffeinated sparkling water. Blood orange grapefruit flavor with other natural flavors.
nice.
Not sponsored.
Nice.
Do you feel the spark between
Oh,
us?
yeah, that's a good point. Not sponsored, unless they want to send me a big crate of it, in which case...
I'll take a crate of bubbly too. These
No,
are
I
nice.
don't want a crate of water. Send some beer.
As our Patreon members know, last time we tried to film this, I fell asleep.
Several times.
So this has caffeine in it.
It's 10:15 at night.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had any caffeine today. Oh, yes, I did. You brought me a coffee.
Yeah, I brought you an iced coffee.
Okay. Well, apart from that,
Okay.
the rest of the day I didn't have.
No.
The rest of the day I didn't have.
Well, let's see your list then. So the first thing that new witches should know is that nothing is true. Not even you. You're not true.
No, that's right.
Not your name.
Moving on.
Not your nose piercing.
Not your nose piercing.
Not your purple highlights.
We're going a bit philosophical, and it doesn't need to be this philosophical.
Okay. Well, I like
'Cause-
philosophy.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
And then brush your teeth.
Oh my God. Do you mean like flossy? Is that where you're going with that?
I like philosophy.
That was the sound of me dying. No, cheese monster.
I'm lactose intolerant. Now, nothing is true. It's a very all-encompassing thing. Mm-hmm. 3 words. But it holds truth. But then it doesn't because nothing is true. So don't pay attention to that bit. In other words, question everything You only have your perception to tell you where something resonates with you. Only thing you can truly trust is your intuition, your higher self, your spirit, not even your own mind. Therefore, nothing is true. What is truth for one is not truth for another, regardless of how similar they are and how they may perceive the world. You cannot describe a colour to someone, and therefore it is the same with everything. That is the same when it comes to religion as well. This is the only thing. I've got nothing against religion, but organised religion is basically, this is how I perceived this, and this is how I want you to perceive it. This gives tunnel vision and cuts out
Have
so
you
much.
noticed that there's a lot of TikTok videos coming out lately that have Jesus depicted as he actually was at that day and age, with like darker skin and dark hair, and that people are all up in arms about it. They're like, no, Jesus was white. I'm like,
this isn't a
y'all,
new thing though. They've been showing the kind of reconstructive image of what Jesus would have looked like from that place at that time,
right?
And this isn't a new thing. And it's kind of sickening, because it's like, wow, let's just make him look like Matthew McConaughey or something like this.
No, he doesn't look like Matthew McConaughey. Like, he would be more like Jonathan Van Ness.
I saw the best. I saw the best TikTok today. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. It deserved more followers and more likes for it.
Can you stop grabbing my leg so aggressively? I get the point. Thank you, Jeez.
This was the point. Now, it was this little old Hispanic woman. And she, above their fridge by the front door or the back door, was a picture of someone with like a shawl, like crossed like this, with a beard and like longish hair.
Gosh. And
she makes the sign of the cross and then kisses as she leaves. And then it's like her son or grandson, it kind of comes in and it says, I haven't the heart to tell her that's not Jesus. And he zooms in on the picture and it's Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars, the young Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh my, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I just was like, oh my goodness, it's so
Jesus.
Perfect. I mean, but that kind of puts it into context, doesn't it?
Yeah, it could be anyone.
It could be anyone. Like, it's just an image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about number 2. Number 2, no path, no witch, and no practice is the same, regardless of how similar they appear.
Yeah. So it's kind of, this is an offshoot of the first rule, but looking more into this when it comes to witchcraft in particular, because the first one is everything. You can apply this to everything in your life.
Everything?
Everything. Nothing is true. The second
So I don't have to go to work tomorrow?
Exactly. The second one, no path, no witch, and no practice is the same, regardless of how similar they appear, is a reminder that your path, you can sit and have a very good resonating conversation where you and another practitioner are so similar, kindred spirits maybe, but your path is still only running parallel. Right. You do not walk the same path.
Right.
Okay, that's really important to remember, because sometimes it's a bit like a test that you haven't studied for when you walk the path, the crooked path, I call it. And what is that from?
The crooked path.
And you kind of look to the left and you look to your right because you're looking for clues, you're looking for help, you're looking for someone who you can follow or copy in a way. Right. It's an instinctive thing. And you have to remember that you can copy. Many people do copy, okay? That's not a bad thing, but when it comes down to it, there gets to a point in your craft, I think, that you begin to realize that everything, language, witchcraft, fashion, everything changes and adapts to the individual. They tweak it, they make it their own. Yeah. And when it comes to your craft, it should be exactly the same. Just because you may be a generational witch does not mean that you need to do it exactly the way you was taught.
Well, that brings up a great point then. So, like, for instance, I mean, I know your aunt works with tarot and oracle cards and
Yes.
but like not necessarily. I know she leans more to the side of a light worker and a healer.
Yes.
Whereas you are totally fine with doing baneful magic.
Yeah. Well, I'm not totally fine with it.
I'll do it all day. I'll do it right now.
Like an evil Oprah Winfrey. You get a curse. You get a curse. You get
You're
a
hexed. You're hexed. You're hexed.
Children come knocking on the door to sell Girl Scout
Can I
cookies.
ask
You're
a question?
Yeah.
All these witch talkers are like, this person done did hex me. And how much validity do you think is there? Like, do you think they just had a bad day?
Honestly, it takes... I said this in the last one before you fell asleep.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember. But now you're
No, I
awake,
didn't.
I'll fill you in.
Yay!
Basically, it takes real gumption to actually curse. There is baneful magic, whereas in you bind someone, or you try to make them see an error of their own ways, or give them a little nudge towards being a more complete person, let's say, and also helping them basically when it comes to bullies, for instance, where, compared to dismantling someone's entire life, literally making them suffer.
So that you're talking about a curse versus like a hex.
Not as such. It's more... Baneful magic isn't just curses and hexes. Okay? Baneful magic is a form of punishment. Okay?
Right.
But it's not always your punishment. This is what you have to understand. That punishment is already on the cards. Okay? You're just bringing it sooner. And it's almost the same with other forms of magic. When it comes to love, love need already be there. But you are igniting it. You are fanning the flames of love for a particular love spell or something like this. When it comes to healing, it is not that this person does not know how to love themselves.
You're drawing out that innate magic.
Yeah, you're
saying.
getting rid of all the shit.
So like...
that's stopping them from loving themselves.
What would be the levels then? We're getting off topic, but what would be the levels? Like just an accidental evil eye?
The evil
like
eye.
a purple...
The evil eye is one of the most common forms of curses. I hesitate to say if it is even a curse, to be honest. And one of the oldest. It is the look of envy or judgment that gets passed on. You don't have to recognise it. And it's the easiest. It's simply done out of a hateful or spiteful look, and there is intent towards you. The eye holds certain power in that sense.
Right.
Now,
then a hex.
Then you have a hex. Now, a hex is something strange. It's more like I always think of a hex as a jinx.
Do people ever do a purposeful evil eye?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe an unsolicited evil eye, a purposeful evil eye, a hex, then a curse, and then a spell, maybe, would be the tiers of insanity.
The most powerful, I don't know if I should talk about this, the most potent spell I know when it comes to dark magic is known as the Druidic Death Hex.
Avada Kedavra.
Lovely. You did that so well.
I was waiting for it.
You didn't do that well, though.
Thank you.
Avada Kedavra. What's that? Avada Kedavra. It's like the Kool-Aid man is trying to curse me.
That's my Voldemort one.
But that actually is a good point. You see, to say that word, like the actors say it, it's said with intent and hatred. Yeah? What you said was like an asthmatic parrot. It's not the same.
Whatevs.
But that's kind of the point. It takes real gumption to actually hex someone, to hurt them, to suffer the consequences, because there are consequences. I'm not talking about the rule of 3 or the 10 times nonsense. Your own personal
That's the Wiccan
price.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, this is a price. Everything has a price. Everything has a toll to it in everything around us, not just magic. Okay, it is the law. And if you are willing to pay that price,
is that just to do with baneful magic, or are you saying in any magical practice?
In any magical practice.
Because I know we've talked about money spells before, and when you do a money spell, you said there's not necessarily any consequences.
No, there isn't, because money gets printed every day. It's not real.
Yeah.
It's just pieces of paper that people give influence and agency to. It's not real. It's not the same as genuine human emotion and how it can affect others and kind of ripple off, in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, did you see that bug?
No, I didn't.
No, okay. I just got distracted.
Did we finish that thought?
I don't know.
All right, well, let's go.
It's hot in here.
No, it's not.
Why are you pretending it's not?
It's
You're not
cold right
pants.
here by the window. I don't like to wear pants.
No, lad. I wish I'd have taken my pants off before we started.
Now,
It looks comfy.
decisions.
I'm calling them pants like a proper American.
Like a proper American. Good job, honey.
I'm a big boy.
Now we just need to get you like an American flag T-shirt with an eagle, like drinking a beer can or something.
Nah, you're all right.
Nah, with a cowboy hat on.
I much prefer the bulldog.
Oh boy. So number 3, you do not need anything to practice magic.
Nope.
You do not need gods, deities, religion.
Yep.
You don't need tools.
Yep.
You don't need a penis.
Nope. You what?
Nope. What?
Nope. You don't need a penis. You don't need a vagina. You don't need any of that stuff.
You don't need it.
All you need is everything that you are born with. Breath. That's it. You don't even need to have a fully functioning brain. You have life force.
Right.
Okay? You have will to live. That's it. That's all you need. You don't even need appendages.
Oh.
But you don't.
I like my appendages.
Well, that's good. They suit you. But you don't need them, is what I'm saying. It's honestly like... I do wish that humanity realised the power it possesses without anything else. Stripped bare, one human has the power to do so much, to affect so much.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the reason why we have these things, because I should imagine many people would ask this, then why do we have them? Because it's visual cues. Okay? We like the representations. For instance, now if I'm saying like, oh, now you're going to perform a spell, you call in the elements. I want you to imagine, keep in mind water, of the west or whatever, and earth of the north, and this and that. And then I want you to visualize this, and at the same time, remember to visualize the water, and that's there.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, now what am I supposed to do? Because you haven't even technically started the spell yet. You're just trying to cast
at that
a circle.
point.
So, in that sense, those visual cues help keep us, and it's about alignment of the mundane, the spiritual, and the divine. Okay, many people, when it comes to people who wish to work with as light workers, okay, they're all fluffy light stuff, and it's all about love. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I get it. But at the same time, when it comes to magic, that was my stomach, sorry. Oh. When it comes to magic, you are also aligning the mundane. Okay, you're bridging the gap between the mundane and the spiritual, and magic is somewhere in between those two.
Right.
Okay, because that is what you're trying to do. You are trying to bring thought and will into the material realm. So you need to use everything the material world has at your disposal in order to do that. Whether or not you can do that, because you will find, many people will find, that the further on in your craft you go, the less stuff you will actually use.
We were talking to Vlasta the last podcast, and one of the questions we asked her was the evolution of her practice. And she says, I think that TikTok thinks that witches do a lot of spells. And she's like, and that was the case with me when I was much younger in my practice. She's like, mostly I just work with energies now.
Yeah. That's very true. It is a lot about energies. Like me, I put thought and intent and I imbue it into something when it comes to a spell. I don't, very rarely now do I say words during a spell. Do I have certain things that represent things and images and things that I make, and then I imbue each thing, and it has to feel right. It resonates within me to what I am trying to accomplish. It symbolizes it.
Right.
When it is done, then I kind of, for want of a word, light the fuse and step back.
Okay.
And let that be born, in a way.
Yeah.
And that's it. There is hardly any ceremony like there once was, and like there is for some people. And once again, we must come back to the first one. Nothing is true and no path is the same.
Do you find it difficult, just more of a random question, because it's very much, TikTok just very much focused on deities right now. Do you find it difficult to connect with so many deities and advise people to work with deities when they may not be ready to do so?
That's a good question.
I got the good ones.
When it comes to deities, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
If a deity wishes to work with you, but you do not feel like you are ready, then don't work with them. Okay? This is something that I have found with some witches that I personally don't find helpful for me.
Okay.
And that is that the reverence they put on deities.
It almost becomes more religion
It
again.
becomes worship. Okay?
Versus help.
And the point of this is that the deities are using you as much as you them.
Right.
They are teaching you, they are guiding you, but you are also doing things on their behalf also. It is a working relationship. Neither should bow to the other.
Well, can you kind of explain, do you feel comfortable explaining how you worked with Boone? Or Boone? Sorry.
Boone, Boone. Boone.
Okay.
So many different kinds, it's lost in translation. But yeah, sure. It's, okay, so Baim, or Boone, was once a god. Okay. However, she or he, depending on the person, or it even, if you prefer, because Boone can often show a truer form of themselves, how they feel comfortable, which is the three-headed dragon.
Oh, hell.
It's not as cool as looking as you think. It's more strange and
like an alligator?
unnerving. No, it's more like a dragon, but two of the heads. One is that of an old man and the other is a dog.
Ew.
Yes.
That's weird.
Yes, it's not like the movies either. It's weird. It's slightly disturbing. A very high, squeaky, almost high-pitched voice.
Okay.
Strange. Now, regardless of all this, Boone is a very good goetic demon to work with. Now, I say demon, and everyone, demon! He's in league with the devil, he is! Well, no, I'm not.
The power of Christ compels you.
They're not demons. It's so hypocritical that it makes me want to fart. Out of pure anger.
An angry toot.
It is, I've said this before, but the mistranslation of demon comes from the ancient Greek daemon when regarding goetic spirits, or Solomonic spirits, if you like. Daemon means spirit. So, or actually it can also be earth spirit. It means spirit of the earth. Now, however, there is then this whole thing where Solomonic magic of summoning such entities was all about casting them into triangles of art, holding them there and causing them discomfort until they give up their secrets, as though you have just captured the enemy and trying to probe them for information. Yes, why? Because of this very hypocritic thing that there was people who were considered religious, devout people of the time, yet still was curious enough to want to try and practice Solomonic magic.
Right.
Well, nowadays it's different. You don't need to capture, poke, prod, and squeeze information out of certain goetic spirits. As a matter of fact, most of them are more than willing to help. And if there is any bad blood there, it's because they have long memories. And it's very much the same when it comes to the other. When I say the other folk, fae, if you like. I don't like that word, but yeah. They also have long memories, and they're very distrustful of human beings. And to be completely honest with you, I can understand why. Human beings go back on their word. I mean, look at this country.
Oh boy, don't start this.
No, I will.
No, it's okay. We probably should get back to the topic, which was you do not need anything to practice magic.
I'm not bashing this country. I'm talking about what's going on right now with the native people. And the idea was that, and everyone's like, well, why are you having a pop at us? And it's like, to the end of the day, is that the colonizers, which isn't a bad word, okay, it isn't an insult, it's accurate, they went back on many treaties. And how many times does someone have to betray your trust and then hurt you badly until you condemn that whole people as not worthy of trust? The other folks see human beings very much the same.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say.
All right.
Not upsetting anyone there, okay? Not upsetting anyone. I'm just making a point.
All right.
She's like, I'll edit that bit out.
This was supposed to be about your relationship with Bune. I just wanted you to...
I did, but that's the
then
point.
You went off on goetic spirits and how many different ones there are. And
Bune is a goetic spirit.
Oh, never mind. No, I just meant like how it felt to call her in. It was a working relationship. You gave something to her, so she would give you something. You established terms. I was looking for more of that. I don't know where you went with it.
And however, the more I work with her, the more I realise that she's more than willing to. And now I do not need to actually go as far as I used to when it comes to the whole bravado of it. And it's because this is this recognisable link that has been formed between the practitioner and the spirit. She comes willingly if I kind of put out that signal.
Okay.
I will add, though, sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes she may be busy.
Yeah.
Okay? And that can happen. Sometimes they don't want to. You just respect that.
Fair enough.
Just respect it.
You don't keep
don't
calling.
question it.
Don't keep knocking.
Yeah. Okay? Don't be needy.
Don't be needy. Okay, so 1, nothing is true. 2, no practices are the same. 3, you don't need anything to practice magic. So number 4 is you must embrace the darkness that comes with the light. Balance in all realms.
Not you must. People are quite successful without, but in my experience, you miss out on 50% of what you can learn and the wisdom and experience if you do not at least look at the darkness. We are made of both. We are beings of both. And to only look at the light, you are only learning and experiencing 50% of your potential power.
Right.
Okay? And it's important, okay? So, for instance, when it comes to certain... There is no level of dark magic that I will not research.
He didn't say practice.
I didn't say practice, but there is no
research.
level because it is important. to know these things. If someone comes to me and says, oh, I'm feeling this, and then I saw this thing or this happened, and I'm feeling like this, I can then say, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Instead of someone else who lives only in the light, and they come to them and they say, well, I will send a prayer out for you. And it's like, well, that's great.
Yeah.
But what is it? So do not shy away from that darkness. We all have it. Okay? We all pretend we don't, but we do. It doesn't mean that you are weak. It doesn't mean that you are evil just because you admit to having it. It's different if you are going to actually use it.
Right.
And so allow that, it's okay to be curious about such things. There's knowledge in that. The same as in life. The dark times happen, but we learn so much more from them. And without it, the light means nothing because it cannot exist. There is no contrast.
So you must embrace the darkness that comes with the light, balance in all realms. Does this type of balance also apply to the mundane side of your life, or is this just in magic?
Yes, that's what, when it comes to the mundane side of your life, that's shadow work. And I say this every time, that a lot of people misunderstand shadow work. Shadow work is not a crusade to banish the darkness within, to kill or slay a dragon or demon. It is to understand it because it is you. It is to understand why it is there, and then work with it by showing it love and patience, and also in a way thanking it. It's there, and it became the monster, a bit like Batman. It became the hero that you need, not the hero that you want, in order for you to flourish in the light. Thank it, learn to understand it, and then now from the point of view where you are, be strong enough to help it heal also.
Do you consider ancestral healing necessary?
No.
No.
I don't. Many people, it depends obviously on the person, obviously. Let's get that straight, okay? But it isn't a necessity. It's not as if you aren't going to spiritually advance simply because you have not healed any ancestral scars, wounds, or trauma that may be there. Okay? Your ancestors may want you to do that because they weren't able to. Okay? That's fine. But you don't have to do it.
Right. You're not obligated to.
You're not obligated to. That was their choice. Okay? You don't have to do that. If you do not feel strong enough, you don't have to do that. Okay? And I think people often, it's this pride of like, I can break a cycle. Okay? Now that's a different thing. Breaking traumatic cycles that are bad for you or affect the ones you love in the present now, that's different.
Right.
When we're talking about the other more ancestral healing. Okay? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the past, as I say, it's dead. It does no longer exist. The only reason the past exists is because you keep feeding it to keep it alive. That's the only reason. If you are to let it die completely, it is gone. It is lost. It is no more. Completely wiped off existence. So when it comes to ancestral healing, this also can mean that. Learning, training and healing by letting go completely of things is just as effective, as long as it is done right, than the ancestral healing that most people presume to be, like working with ancestral spirits and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. So number 5. We are always manifesting. Karma cannot be reduced down to an eye for an eye when every move we make influences others. Knowing this means to understand universal laws of causality and effects.
Yes. Cause and effect. Causalities. Can do that again.
No.
Okay. Yeah. You're always manifesting, and you're always affecting other people. Deliberately or otherwise, you are. Okay, you make a decision to turn left at a light instead of right. You have taken the space of someone else who is predestined to perhaps be in that space. Whether or not they are or not doesn't matter. But you have then made a shift. A timeline has changed and veered off. And so therefore, you cannot just simply reduce it down only to magic. And the moment you perform magic, it's, you can't do that. That's affecting people's free will. You're always affecting people's free will. Just by making simple choices every day. Karma cannot be reduced down to something so base as an eye for an eye. Because an eye for an eye just makes the whole world blind, doesn't it? So therefore, there is much more to that. Who is not to say that all the karma that you are going to acquire in your life you have not already had? You have not already paid it off before you have even committed such things, if there is such predestined points for karma to intervene. It makes no sense. It is far more complex. It is almost an ecosystem of spiritual timelines, energies that all play off each other, constantly changing, adapting to keep the balance. You can't simply just put it down to you shouldn't do that because something bad will happen to you. It's more than that. Okay, you don't have to understand it, but you have to understand that it's not so simple.
Yeah.
Okay, you are always affecting others. Just because you are performing magic, you're still affecting someone. That's all. Everything you do with good intention. That's the best way to stay out of the universal balance or the correction of balance that you may be trying to dip. Try to do everything you do with good intention, just as you would when you deliberately cause ripples in this world by just doing things out of goodness.
So we asked on our Instagram, the Antlered Crown, a few questions, and this is one of them. If you're a beginner witch, what questions do you have about starting your practice? Okay, so SX Pin Artemis asked, how do I pray to my ancestors?
It's not so much as pray. If you wish to commune with your ancestors, you talk to yourself. Your ancestors exist within you because you have memory of them. If they are within living memory, at least, or if not, you can learn about them. Once you know them, you establish this rapport. They are there because they are ancestral. They are linked to you.
Yeah.
So you simply talk to them as you would a guide.
Right.
When they are there, you talk out loud, you talk to them, you address them.
Is there a good way to use divination to maybe bridge that connection to hear the answers better? Like through scrying or pendulum?
Meditation, I think, would be best to work with that. Or even just reading portents and subtle signs using your intuition. As long as you use your intuition, it doesn't matter what divination you use.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think?
When you ask how do I pray to my ancestors, I would have taken that to mean, making an ancestral altar, or if there's any candles or something to use, that would be best.
That is one way. If you know things that they like, or you may even get images of things you like, you can definitely. That's something I do as well. I put pictures up of loved ones who have passed and ancestors, and on certain things like a birthday, like that, or a special occasion to them. They may light a candle, talk to them, look at the picture, because that way when you look, that's the point of a picture or
it's like Coco.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. What?
The Day of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I thought you meant Coco was just...
And SX Pin Artemis also asked, do I really need to unblock my third eye to be a witch, or is that just TikTok shenanigans?
This is a tough one. It depends on what kind of witch you want to be, or what kind of witch you are.
Mm-hmm.
Your third eye, I would say yes, because simply your third eye it doesn't mean to see. It is to hear, to sense, to feel the hidden worlds around you, and a witch deals with these worlds. And I've noticed that a lot of the time, some people who do witchcraft, they don't. And we have realized now that witchcraft and psychic ability, they go hand in hand. They used to go hand in hand long ago. Then they didn't for some reason. For a short time, they kind of separated. But honestly, they're coming back together. It's because they, like, your psychic energy, your intent that you put into things like that, you use them together with your magic. Okay, so yeah.
Tales of A Squared asked, what are the best protection spells to use? Well, right now that'd be Algies, yeah?
Algies, yes. Algies. Yeah, definitely, Algies. Protection spells.
Different runes or sigils?
It's tough. You have to find something that resonates to you when it comes to a symbol of protection, if you wish to use a symbol. However, the best spell, if you like to call it a spell, I found, is the intent that you put into salt. This is a really, really, I mean, for instance, if you wish to protect the home, this is a really quick way. You take a bowl, you fill it with salt. Rock salt is best, but it doesn't matter. You then place a candle in the salt, and then you light it, a white candle. You can dress the candle with certain protective herbs or oils if you like, but this is a way of absorbing and banishing negativity. Okay, holding on to it. Place it by a door and light it. Obviously don't just leave it and walk away. But yeah, this is a really simple way of doing it. When it comes to protection magic, when you're a witch, protection magic is probably the one thing you will do regularly. You will cleanse your house regularly. If you are an empath or you are psychically inclined, you will also do the same. You will learn to put up barriers and protections, put yourself within a bubble or a field of energy when you go into public places or you meet new people. And the same with your home and protection there. It is something that you need to learn first, protection magic, okay? Before any other form of spell work or any other technique, protection magic.
Right.
I think you know that as well.
Blue butter, I think that's supposed to say butterfly. Blue butterfly energy.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Yeah.
I have refrained from ritual because I'm afraid that if I get one thing wrong or I miss something, it will go very badly. How can I move into doing rituals with confidence?
I think we kind of covered that with this whole point of nothing is true and no path is the same. Okay?
Well, there are a lot of spells, I feel like, that you feel like when I tried to do a certain spell, and there were a lot of steps to it. There are, though. It's like you got to anoint the candle with this and this, and you got to carve this and this and this into the candle, and then each day you have to burn it so much, and you have to do this with something, and like repeat the same phrase, and it is a lot of work. Spells. Some of them are very elaborate.
Yeah. Okay, well...
Is it just the best thing to do is keep practicing, like with everything?
You have to start. Okay. Fear does not belong to a witch. You have to remember this. This is also another thing when it comes to protection. There is a difference between confidence and ignorance, but fear is something a witch should not have.
Right.
When my daughter says to me about monsters, when I put her to bed, I say there is no monsters because I am a witch. And therefore they know that if there is a monster or something like that close by, I will put it in a brass vessel and then throw it in a lake where it will remain there for as long as till someone finds it, if they ever do. Like, I can be petty like that when it comes to my kids. So But that's the point. You have power over such things. You have knowledge over such things. You have freedoms of the living, but you also have the freedoms that are only permissible of the dead or entities because you are a witch.
Okay, so AY4211 asked, what is astral projection and what are its dangers?
I will say that when it comes to astral projection, if you are learning, okay, and you wish to start, do not have purpose. Okay? Do not have a place in mind where you wish to go. Allow the higher self or your spirit to take you where you need to go. Okay? Some people will say, oh, no. But honestly, the spirit knows where it's going. The spirit's been there before. Allow yourself to go there. Okay? And the same applies to the whole point of fear. Fear for you is unnecessary. Okay? You're a witch. You exist within both worlds. Okay? Which gives you a lot more power than other entities living in this world and the other.
What are the dangers?
You can go to the lower planes. However, if you do find yourself in the lower planes, it's not that bad. I mean, it's grey, it's cold, it's numb. There's a lot of miserable looking things there that usually are very bitter and angry because they don't feel that they belong there, even though they don't realise that their own spirit has actually put themselves there. And they will stay there until they agree to right whatever wrong they may have done.
Ren, not short for Karen, asked, how do you know if you're ready to try astral projection?
That's a tough one. I feel that if you have been practicing astral projection, you may find when you are sleeping or just during a meditation, you may feel yourself going that way. This is a good sign to say,
You're
I
ready.
think I'm ready now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Lindsay Green, 6'9", how can you tell if a deity is trying to work or contact you? We plan on discussing this a bit more in one of our future podcasts, but just a general answer would be great.
This is a bit of a strange one because many people are like, I don't know if someone is trying to contact me, a deity. You can choose. And no one seems to tell you this, as far as I can see. But you can choose your deity. It may not fit, but it's a bit like going into a shoe shop.
And your deity can change, too.
Your deity can change. You can gain new ones. You can get rid of old ones. They may take a step back. And it's fine. It's not that bad. And if you pick up a deity because you think, I want to work with this deity, I'm going to try working with this deity because something resonates with me and this deity, there are signs.
Right.
Okay. And all of a sudden you're like, it doesn't feel right, it's not a good fit. You or the deity have not missed out on anything. You just put that down and you try another. It's permissible. Just because they are deities, do not put the same divinity on them as the,
Okay. We also asked on Instagram, if you're an established practitioner, what do you wish you knew when you were first starting your path? And I wanted you to answer that first, and then we'll read other people's answers.
This is very true. That your room would smell like 3 different scents because of candles and incense. That's true. That's very true. The amount of smells, like, and different oils and herbs is crazy.
Now, what do you wish? I'm asking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you wish you knew when you were first starting your path?
I think we'll go back to the darkness thing. That it's okay. I was ashamed of a darkness within that we all have due to the pain that we feel throughout our lives. And so I hid it and I tried to live within the light until I realised that is not my way. That is not what my spirit is asking of me. That's what I wish I known sooner. It would have saved a lot more pain. Where I felt that I was going to be seduced by darker elements of magic is preposterous. I did not trust myself, and now I do, and I realise that, no, I am a good person. I know I'm a good person. I know I wouldn't hurt someone intentionally like that. So
right.
It's okay. I can allow that piece of me to,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Okay, so you read the first one by SX Pin Artemis. The second one was that it's okay if you miss a full moon. You don't need to have motivation some days to do witchy stuff.
Yeah, I've missed loads of moons. Isn't it? Full moon is the strawberry moon.
I think tonight.
Tonight is the strawberry moon.
Yeah.
I have not done a thing. I have not put anything
This is
out.
the last super moon, too.
It is the last.
Everyone
moon.
was telling me, you gotta put out your water. You gotta put
I'll be
out
honest
your
with
water.
you guys, full moons and me, weird. I get very, I don't know how to explain it other than my teeth hurt.
That's the title of the podcast.
My teeth hurt.
Full moons make my teeth hurt.
They make my teeth hurt. I like it. It's good. You just smacked your head on the wall.
I did. It hurt.
But yeah, they do. They make my teeth.
Full
It
moons
feels
make
like
my teeth hurt.
it feels like they're trying to push out. I feel very like
Stuck in your skin.
and stuck in my skin. Like I just want to strip off and run outside where it's cold and damp and it's nice. And I'm not talking about werewolves. It does sound like that, but
It does sound a bit.
I feel so
Lupus.
confined by my own physical body in a way. It's quite frustrating for me. So I shy away from them a little bit, to be honest. I only work with them out of necessity rather than just...
And like you've said before, you can charge your own water if you need to.
Oh, yeah. You can, I mean, yeah.
You don't need fancy objects to be a witch.
Yep.
We talked about that. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Tales of A Squared, you don't always have to follow everything to a T. You can change things around. It will still work. It's about your intent. Good job. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that too.
We talked about that too. It really is.
100%.
I will actually add this though. Oftentimes, by making a spell yours, by putting your own flavour on it,
It works
just by
better.
tweaking it, it improves it tenfold. Or it can. Okay, if you know why you're changing it, and
if you
how
know
you're
why.
changing it, and you think this, I feel like this, you will feel it intuitively. And may I also add that sometimes ancestrally or spiritually, others are working through you, telling you, hey, try this. It's not always just from books.
No,
you get
not
the
at all.
basics from books. But then allow spirit and your intuition to kind of intervene there and improve stuff and try new things out.
I think, at least in my opinion, learning from other people's experiences on the Discord server, because that is also part of being a witch. And I don't know if you guys know Wicked Lady on TikTok, but her...
you should go follow.
You should go follow her, but her posts
really
are always
informative.
really informative.
Yeah.
And what she always says is like, you have to be your own researcher. You have to develop skills of research and know how to research prior to becoming a witch. And I think that's so very true because I needed to understand the best way that I learned, because I can't pick up a book and learn. Like, I can flip through it. It depends how interesting it is to me. How about that? Because I do read a lot, but if it's not interesting, then I'm not going to finish it.
Yeah.
But if I find something like learning through other people's experiences and then researching that part of it, that's a lot more helpful for me personally.
I agree.
I think it all just comes down to knowing yourself, knowing those skills of research, and then applying them how best works for you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Okay, so we asked a few questions. Do you want to read the first one?
Have you researched other religions as part of your practice? 89% said yes. 11% said no.
Are you surprised by that?
No.
I was a little bit, yeah, because I feel like, I don't know. I didn't think a lot of people would put the time into learning other religions. They're like, might have fallen out of a religion and then we're like, I identify with witchcraft, this is it. But like we've talked about, like witchcraft is research it is learning more.
But it is separate from religion.
Yes, I know.
So you can research religions. You can even look for a religion while still being a practicing witch.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about you, but personally I think that witchcraft in that sense, or the spirituality that is kind of around witchcraft, is very much about understanding things and understanding faiths. I mean, especially if you're going to be working with deities.
Sorry, there's a plane and it's very loud.
They can't hear that.
They can.
They can't. I promise.
100% they can.
I promise you. You watch this. You're not going to be
I'm
able
going
to hear
to.
it.
I'm going to leave this in here so you guys can hear the plane.
And
That's
then you
here.
can tell us because it will be silence. It should just be Amanda going like this.
Stupid planes always flying over our house.
I know,
Freaking all
right?
times of
Because
night.
I
Hey,
think
look,
they
11:11.
11:11.
It's the third time I've seen ones today.
Only happens twice in a day.
Oh, like on caller IDs and other
Oh,
stuff for
right,
me too.
okay.
Okay. So the second question, have you performed any ritual or spell as a beginner witch? And 90% said yes and 10% said no. I was also surprised by that one too, because I feel like a ritual or spell, like as a beginner witch, you might feel less comfortable doing that. But I think TikTok has given people a lot more confidence
Yes.
to do that. And that makes me nervous.
I think it shouldn't.
Like,
I shouldn't. I think
depends who you're following.
that it's much like during the 90s and 80s, it was kind of like virginity. You just wanted to get it over with.
I don't think it's like that now.
No, I'm not saying it is now, but it was one of those things. It was like some people decide. I mean, I can't tell because I was kind of raised up with it, and it was kind of like I was performing spells before I knew what a spell was in that sense because I just watched it, you know. But I think that that's one of the things is that this sounds really kind of, and I don't mean it to, but when someone starts off on witchcraft, they will look for a reason to perform a spell. And what it's like what you were saying earlier on is that over time you will realize that you don't actually need a spell always for certain things, but at the beginning of the craft that you start, I see a lot of people doing spells when they don't need to. Like I've had someone who come to me fairly recently wanted a spell for something, and I told them no.
Yeah.
You don't need a spell for that.
Well, in her case, it was more a generational curse that
It
she
was
needed
more of
to
a
break.
generational curse. But
There's not much you could do there.
That's the point. It's, sometimes...
Don't get spell happy.
Yeah. No, it's okay to get spell happy. It's part of it. It's new, it's fun, it's wow, it's this sudden rush
shiny.
of empowerment. It's
Look
empowerment.
what I can do.
No, it's not. It's just empowerment, and it's okay. It's okay to do that. Don't put it off. Don't think like, oh, magic must be. No, go a bit wild with it. If you want to do spells like these spells for self-love and stuff, practice them, try them, tweak them, write them down, trial and error, that sort of thing. That's what you're here for. That's all part of it.
Do you practice meditation regularly, more than once a week?
50% said yes, and 50% said no.
Wow.
That's very right down the middle.
Y'all.
And I'm surprised by that one.
I am too. Because I feel like meditation is such an important part of your practice and developing your psychic abilities, but I guess that's up to user too.
Yeah.
So
it is.
Very true. All right. Well, that's it. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram as The Antlered Crown or on YouTube as Elwyn the Witch, although we're taking a little smidge of a break from that. But we're going to do some new things on the Patreon and on Instagram. So if you guys want to join us, that'd be great.
Yeah. I offer a variety of psychic readings, including bone, tarot, and clairvoyance, as well as spiritual consultations, which are done live and scheduled via Zoom. I am also offering spell work and custom merchandise, all of which you can find on my website, theantleredcrown.com. For the month of June, you can use the code CROWN20, all one word in capitals, for a 20% discount on anything from my website.
Anything at all, anything at all. You can buy anything on the website for 20% off. You could also join our community on Patreon and get access to our Discord server, group meetings, one-on-ones with Elwyn, and other goodies depending on the tier level you choose.
Nice. Speaking of which, here is our Antlered Crown patron shout-out.
Elizabeth, Rachel, Maria.
Ellie, Marie, Rose, and Victoria.
Thanks for joining
Why are you making me do noise of it?
I don't know. It's more fun this way. Thanks for joining our Patreon and our Discord server. We love having you. Thanks for being part of our soul fam. Can't wait to send you a birthday card.
It needs more drama.
Does it? We need some keys.
Yeah, that's
Wayne's World. Wayne's World. Excellent.
That's better. That's better.
There we go.
I can ship that.
Yeah. Next time we're going to talk about signs from gods and spirit and how to interpret them. Or we might be having an interview with a witch doctor. I haven't decided yet. We have to kind of figure out our schedule.
Oh, we'll have to kidnap one first.
Yeah, you don't even know. I've been scheduling this behind your back.
Yeah. What? You've been doing this behind my back?
Yeah. Do you know who we might have on?
Yeah, I have an idea.
Oh, well, then you might know.
I know.
Oh, okay. And always remember...
Tip your witch, bitch.
Bye-bye.
Bye.